Well, hey gang, how are you doing? It's Jonathan again for Tailhunter International, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report, covering all of the fishing action for our Tailhunter Sportfishing Fleet down here in La Paz, Baja, Mexico, for the 21st through the 28th of July, 2019. Fish brothers and sisters, hope wherever you are, you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your summer, and thanks for subscribing. And let's talk a little bit about fishing. You know, here we are 2/3 through the summer, and finally, it's feeling like summer. You know, we've had that long, lingering winter. That cold has just hung on. The winds have really hampered our fishing throughout the season. This is really the first week that I feel like I can say Dorado season's finally here. It's finally warm. It's finally summertime here in La Paz. The weather's very tropical. I won't kid you about that. If you've got an aversion to heat, this is probably, not the best time to be down here because the weather is about high 90s in the daytime to the low hundreds. Very, very humid. And night times, I'm going to tell you, probably in the low 80s. It's a great time to be on the beach, great time to be on the water. And with the warmer weather, the upside is that this is also the best time for fishing, especially for the pelagic species. Not the rockfish and stuff like that. We're talking about, the glamour species that everyone sees in the magazines, the flyers, the brochures. The fun kind of fishing where it's all top water stuff. And sure enough, finally, I'm going to officially tell you Dorado season's on, because if you look through our fishing gallery at the end of this video, you'll see predominantly you're going to see a lot of green and gold. The Dorado are in here. We're seeing them in schools. We're seeing the bigger the bigger bulls running singularly or 2s and 3s. Some days, some of the guys are getting into the Dorado and catching all they want. Catch and release, getting a limit by 8, 9 o'clock, and then that gives them time to go chase other species. Or in other situations, maybe they'll catch, 2 here, 1 there, another one there, maybe catch a rooster fish, hook up some bonita, then later on catch a couple others. And then by the end of the day, look in the box, they got a full box of fish, including, limits of Dorado. So I'm going to officially say Dorado season's on. They're scattered all over. They're not in any one particular place, but I'm going to say a good portion of them are in that channel between Cerralvo Island and where we are here in La Paz on the peninsula. They're eating live bait, they're eating lures, they're running maybe as small as 5 pounds. Most of those are getting released, but we're seeing bulls as big as 30 and 40 pounds, and maybe some other ones that are also, as everyone says they hooked a big fish. Oh, I had a 50, 60 pound fish. Well, there aren't that many 50 and 60 pound fish, but the clients are always right, and there's some bigger fish out there that are shaking loose, biting through and getting lost. So it's a good time to be down here if you're looking for Dorado, because I'll probably say maybe, probably 70% of our catch right now is Dorado, and that's great because they're fun, they're readily available, everyone loves to hook them, they're acrobatic, great sport fish, and they make great eating. Now, in terms of other fish, here's the strange part. Here we are in summer, the waters are warm, we're catching these warm water species like the Dorado, but we're still catching some inshore colder water species like the big Pargo liso, these big mullet snapper that we normally only see maybe at the end of the winter. Maybe I don't see any after, say, April, early May, something like that. But here we are in July, we're still catching these big mullet snapper, and there's nothing wrong with these. They make great eating. These are tough, ferocious fish with fangs, big scales, big sharp gill plates. They're really tough to pull out of the rocks, especially in shallow water. They make great sport fish, but we're still catching quite a few of these, and it's real unusual for them to be seen this late in the season. Also some cabria as well, still catching some amberjack, and generally, once again, those are cold water species. Other species, we're not really seeing any wahoo, haven't seen any in a couple of weeks. Tuna keep popping up. We're not hooking any. I think we got 2 this week, but for the most part, we see them pop up, we race over to the spot, and they go down, or they're just moving way too fast for us to get onto them. I think they're doing a better job on the tuna further south of us, but most of our fishing is going to be Dorado. We are catching a few marlin. We hooked a couple this week, some lost, a couple hooked, brought to the boat, and thankfully released. Other species we're seeing, we're still getting, like I said, some amberjack, some pargo, some cabria, lots of bonita, so there's no shortage of action. Roosterfish. We did get some bigger roosterfish. We're not seeing as many roosterfish as we were earlier in the season. Now, don't worry about that if you're looking for roosterfish and you're planning to come down and this is your one shot to, knock it off the bucket list. What it is, I think, is more people are focused on the, the meat fish. They want to put some fish into the coolers and take some fish home, have some cooked up at our restaurant or other places. So the focus hasn't been real strong on the roosterfish. They're not really good eating. They're a great sport fish, but almost all of those are getting released. So everyone is focused on the Dorado, the Pargo Cabria, the other fish that make better eating. But the rooster fish we're getting, running 40 to 60 pounds. Also, there's some days where we get into the schools of these smaller fish, the maybe 5 to 20 pounders. And, some of the guys are telling us, we caught 5, we caught 10, we caught a dozen of them real quickly. Great fun on light tackle. They're eating the live bait, and they're having a hoot with those. But again, all of those are getting released. So the rooster fish are still here. We're just not seeing as many as before. Anyway, that's going to be a quick wrap-up on what's going on down here in La Paz. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're coming down in the next couple of weeks, be prepared because there's still a lot of different species down here, but we're looking forward to having you. In the meantime, hope you're enjoying your summer. Thanks a lot for checking in. This is Jonathan for the Mexican Minute Tailhunter Sport Fishing Report. We'll see you again next week. God bless.